What is the greatest Batman video game of all time? There have been over 30 standalone Batman video games released across all platforms, with the first being released in 1986, fittingly titled Batman. The game was available on home computers with breathtaking isometric graphics, published by the now defunct Ocean Software Limited. The goal of the game is to rescue Robin by collecting the 7 parts of the Batcraft hovercraft scattered throughout the Batcave. Despite being released in the mid-80s, the game features an early save system that lets you restart from checkpoints instead of starting over after losing all lives. But if you're anything like me, I never even lost a life. 2 years after the release of Batman, Ocean Software Limited followed up with another PC game based on the Cape Crusader, titled Batman: The Cape Crusader. The arcade adventure presents the action in a comic book style and is split into 2 parts, A Bird in the Hand, featuring the Penguin, and A Fate Worse Than Death, involving the Joker. Playing as, get this, Batman, you fight enemies using punches, kicks, and batarangs while also solving puzzles along the way. With the release of the live-action Batman movie starring Michael Keaton, it made sense to release a video game inspired by the film. But it wasn't just Ocean Software who developed the game. Sunsoft created an NES, Game Boy, Sega Genesis, and PC Engine version, and Atari published one for arcades. Ocean Software saw 5 levels inspired by key moments from the film, each with a time limit and health gauge. If either runs out, Batman loses a life. The version developed by Sunsoft was a side-scroller platformer, but despite being based on the 1989 movie, the game's plot is significantly different, including the appearance of several minor DC villains not seen in the film, such as Deadshot, Killer Moth, and KG Beast. Atari's arcade edition of the 1989 Batman movie features stages based on locations in the film and audio clips from Michael Keaton's Batman and Jack Nicholson's Joker. Sunsoft retained publishing rights to the character and returned with Batman Return of the Joker in 1991 on the NES and 1992 on the Sega Genesis and Game Boy. Side-scroll your way across 7 stages as Batman to stop the Joker, who's stolen toxic metals to build explosives while fighting other familiar bosses along the way. 1992 saw the return of Batman in cinemas with Batman Returns, meaning a video game loosely based on the film was inevitable. The Sega Genesis and Sega CD versions of Batman Returns are both 2D platformers, similar to Sega's 1990s Batman game. The CD version also includes 3D racing levels, enhanced music, and original animations. The Master System and Game Gear's version are also side-scrollers, but were developed separately and feature a branched level system with easy and difficult routes. Kamani's DOS version differs as it's an adventure game, not an action game. Another video game based on Batman's media was created in 1993 for Batman the Animated Series. The Game Boy exclusive side-scroller was published by Konami, giving you the ability to alternate between playing as Batman and Robin to utilize their unique abilities to battle a rogue's gallery of villains. Batman uses a grappling hook to reach high places, while Robin can walk along ceilings. A console version of the game was released the following year, titled The Adventures of Batman and Robin. The Super NES was a 2D platformer with 8 levels. The Sega Genesis had a run-and-gun style, introducing co-op play with Robin, while Sega CD had driving stages. The familiar gameplay featured Batman's well-known villains like Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, and of course, the Joker. Another year, another Batman movie to be adapted into a video game, this time the 1995's Batman Forever. The beat-em-up game allows you to play as Batman or Robin, with co-op modes available on the console edition, but not handheld. This was, however, a completely different game from Batman Forever, the arcade game, released the following year, though still being a beat-em-up. This was also the first Batman game to be playable on Sony's PlayStation. Speaking of PlayStation, they got the exclusive console rights for the adaptation of the next Batman movie into a game, Batman and Robin. The action-adventure game features sandbox elements including real-time events, traffic simulation, and a civilian population. You can choose to play as Batman, Robin, or Batgirl, each with their unique vehicle. Some of the various missions have been taken from the film, while others are game exclusive. Most of these missions occur at specific times, for example, stopping Mr. Freeze from robbing a bank at 7 PM, meaning you have to gather clues and utilize the Batcomputer to uncover the plot. Failing to solve the mystery and stop the crime in time results in mission failure. Entering the new millennium, we got Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, another beat-em-up developed by Kemco and released by Ubisoft for Game Boy Color, PlayStation, and Nintendo 64. The game is based on the film and the Batman Beyond TV series, where you play as the new Batman, Terry McGinnis, battling the Joker and his gang. The Joker aims to steal tech from Gotham City to control a missile-launching satellite to destroy the city. Disappointingly, it was reviewed negatively due to its repetitive and basic gameplay. Another handheld game, this time Batman Chaos in Gotham, released in 2001 on the Game Boy Color. Taking inspiration from the new Batman Adventures TV series, Arkham Asylum is experiencing a major breakout, releasing a wave of supervillains who are now causing chaos across Gotham City. As you work as Batman to capture the escaped criminals, including all of his iconic rogues gallery, you uncover that Two-Face is the mastermind behind this breakout. Now you as Batman must stop Two-Face before Gotham is destroyed. The same year, we got a racing game on the PlayStation, Batman Gotham City Racer. Using the art style and notable characters of the new Batman Adventures TV series, play as Batman, Robin, Batgirl, or Nightwing to compete in various street races throughout Gotham City, including checkpoint races, point-to-point races, and circuit races. While racing, you can pick up power-ups like rockets, mines, and shields to gain an edge over your rivals or defend against attacks. The more you advance, the more you unlock, with additional tracks, vehicles, and characters, each with their own unique abilities, similar to Mario Kart. 2001 also saw the release of Batman Vengeance, another video game loosely based on the new Batman Adventures, which also features the show's cast. Released on all major consoles, Game Boy Advance and PC, the storyline follows Batman as he rescues a woman named Mary from a bomb placed by the Joker at Gotham Chemicals, where he's holding her son at ransom. However, Batman discovers Mary is actually Harley Quinn, and the kidnapping was a trap. After defeating the Joker, who falls off a bridge, Batman suspects he may still be alive and allows Harley to escape to keep tabs on them. Throughout the game, you fight various villains before confronting the very much alive Joker, who plans to unleash a toxin on Gotham. But if you're successful in the gameplay, Batman prevents the toxin's release and imprisons the villain at Arkham Asylum. Audience and critics were mixed on this game. Some praised its engaging story and visuals, but noted significant shortcomings, particularly in linear gameplay. Batman Dark Tomorrow was a 2003 action-adventure game developed and published by Kemco for GameCube and Xbox. The game incorporates elements from the comics, particularly regarding Ra's al Ghul and his complex relationship with his daughter, Talia. You once again play as Batman, battling various villains while trying to stop Ra's al Ghul's plan to cause global destruction with weaponized satellites. Unfortunately, the game was criticized, primarily due to the controls, repetitive missions, and frustrating camera. Batman Rise of Sin Tzu is a 2003 action beat-em-up game developed by Ubisoft, featuring characters from the new Batman Adventures and playable on Xbox, PlayStation 2, Game Boy Advance, and GameCube. Play as Batman or his allies Nightwing, Batgirl, and Robin as you confront a powerful warlord named Sin Tzu on the anniversary of Batman's parents' death. The game includes solo and co-op modes, character upgrades, various level difficulties, and follows Batman as he follows villains like Scarecrow and Clayface, ultimately leading to a showdown with Sin Tzu at Arkham Asylum. Critically, it was mixed reviewed like the other Batman beat-em-up games, mainly putting this down to the lack of variety in gameplay. Plug-and-plays were like consoles exclusively for one game, and in 2004, Batman got his own. The simple beat-em-up game includes 5 chapters that see Batman uses his batarangs to defeat enemies before ending each level coming up against a different villain. Batman Begins is a third-person stealth action game based on the film with the same name. The game was released in 2005 on the Game Boy Advance, GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox, and for the first time, mobile. It features the film's original cast, voicing their characters, except for Jim Gordon, and closely follows the film's plot, with only minor adjustments. Gameplay includes environmental interactions to scare off enemies, racing segments using the tumbler, and unlockable costumes for Batman. While the reviews for the games weren't as high as the movie, it still scored better than average. It's time for the first LEGO Batman video game. Released in 2008 by Traveller's Tales and published by Warner Bros., it features an original storyline for the first time in LEGO games. Despite this, it still has its unique LEGO video game charm, playing with a third-person perspective, battling enemies, solving puzzles, and collecting LEGO studs across 30 levels divided into hero and villain chapters. Batman and Robin combat villains from Arkham Asylum, each leading their own criminal schemes, while the villains' missions see you execute their plans while evading the Gotham City Police Department. The game allows 2-player co-op mode and introduces various character abilities and suits, each with distinct powers. While released on all consoles and handheld devices, the Nintendo DS and mobile versions simplified the gameplay and style. In 2009, Rocksteady Studios released the now critically acclaimed Batman Arkham Asylum. The game's story, written by Paul Dini, who co-created characters like Harley Quinn and Terry McGinnis, centers on Batman's conflict with the Joker, who seizes control of Arkham Asylum, trapping Batman with his foes and threatening Gotham with hidden bombs. The game is played from a third-person perspective, emphasizing Batman's combat, stealth, detective skills, and gadgets. You get to explore Arkham Asylum, interact with characters, completing puzzles and missions while unlocking new areas and collectibles along the way. Batman Arkham Asylum was so popular, it sold nearly 2 million copies within the first 3 weeks and won Game of the Year at several award events, praising all elements from the storyline, gameplay, and voice acting from the iconic Kevin Conroy's Batman, Mark Hamill's Joker, and Arlene Sorkin's Harley Quinn. It even held the Guinness World Record for most critically acclaimed superhero game ever, an award which may or may not have been taken by an upcoming title on this list. Batman the Brave and the Bold cartoon series got a Nintendo Wii and DS side-scroller beat-em-up platformer in 2011. Each level acts as an episode, with Batman teaming up with heroes like Hawkman, Robin, Green Lantern, Blue Beetle, and Plastic Man to stop villains. Review-wise, it was largely positive. It's considered a satisfying game in short sessions, otherwise it can get repetitive. Remember how I said Arkham Asylum was a Guinness World Record holder for most critically acclaimed superhero game ever? Well, the game that took that title away was 2011's Batman Arkham City. While the previous game in the series sold 2 million copies in 3 weeks, Arkham City only took 7 days, making it one of the fastest selling games in history. Because of the Batman Arkham Asylum's success, Paul Dini was brought back to write the story for this game too, which takes place 18 months later, centering around Bruce Wayne being imprisoned in Arkham City, where he attempts to stop Hugo Strange's plan to eliminate Gotham's criminal population. The game is once again third person, playing as Batman, focusing on combat, stealth, detective skills, and exploration in an open world map that's 5 times larger than its predecessor. Speaking of Batman sequels, 2012 saw the release of LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes. It follows Batman, Robin, and Superman before eventually teaming up with the Justice League as you try and stop the Joker and Lex from making Luthor the president. The first LEGO Batman video game was the first LEGO game to have an original story, while LEGO Batman 2 is the first in Traveller Tales LEGO series to feature spoken dialogue and an open world. The game was even adapted into a movie, using the cutscenes plus additional footage. As for reviews, if you love the LEGO video games, you'll probably love this one. If you're not a fan of them, the new mechanics in open world might draw you in. Personally, I found the fly mechanics difficult, but other than that, I'm a LEGO video game completionist, so this was a real thrill. Because of the success of Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City, it makes sense that the series would continue. In 2013, the next edition was a prequel, Batman Arkham Origins. Set 8 years before Batman Arkham Asylum, the game follows a younger, less experienced Batman as he faces a $50 million due bounty on his head by crime lord Black Mask. The bounty draws 8 of the world's most deadly assassins to Gotham on Christmas Eve, while Batman must also contend with villains like the Joker, who exploit the chaos. The story emphasizes Batman's vulnerability and detective skills as he evolves into the hero seen in the earlier Arkham games. The game introduces new gadgets, a crime scene investigation feature, fast travel system, and multiplayer. Unfortunately, unlike its predecessors, the reviews weren't as positive. They weren't necessarily negative either, but the lack of innovation from the previous titles led to a mixed reaction. The game also received a companion sequel, titled Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. Set 3 months after Arkham Origins, the game follows Batman as he tries to stop a prison riot at Blackgate Penitentiary led by the Joker, Penguin, and Black Mask. Initially designed for handheld users, a console edition was released the following year. It's back to the arcade for Batman with a vehicle combat game in 2013. Control Batman driving in one of 10 different Batmobile designs from various Batman media around Gotham City to capture villains who have escaped from Arkham Asylum before the time runs out. The arcade cabinet was equipped with LEDs, a Batman-themed seat, and a steering wheel with force feedback for the hardcore Batman and arcade fans. In 2014, the LEGO Batman series became a trilogy with Beyond Gotham, centering around Brainiac's attempt to shrink Earth, forcing the Justice League and Legion of Doom to team up against him. Continuing with its unique LEGO style, the game also had additional downloadable content, including levels and characters based on different DC movies. Personally, I enjoyed the storyline, but it was underwhelmed by the open and hub worlds, with the lack of exploring interesting and familiar places. Batman returned to Arkham in 2015's Batman Arkham Knight. Set 9 months after Batman Arkham City, it's the Dark Knight up against Scarecrow, who's attacked Gotham City with the help of the mysterious Arkham Knight. Together they aim to unite Gotham's criminals to defeat Batman. After the disappointment of the Origin games, Batman Arkham Knight was a return to form, not only winning Game of the Year at numerous award shows, but also becoming the fastest selling game of 2015, selling over 5 million copies within 4 months. Telltale Games had a go at Batman with a point-and-click graphic adventure game in 2016. Less of a game, more of a decision-making story, you alternate between playing as Batman and Bruce Wayne, with your decisions influencing the character's personality. Set a few years into Batman's career, you're imprisoned in a city rife with crime and corruption, featuring familiar locations like Wayne Manor, the Batcave, and Arkham Asylum. Overall, it was a mixed-reviewed story, which can be seen as underwhelming for something that relies almost entirely on the plot. The story did, however, continue in 2017 with Batman: The Envy Within, receiving more positive reviews. What if Batman Arkham, but in first person, and in VR? Well, then that would be Batman Arkham VR. Set between Batman Arkham City and Batman Arkham Knight, the story follows Batman as he investigates the disappearance of Nightwing and Robin. Use Batman's gadgets to explore and solve puzzles from a first-person perspective. It's short, it's simple, but for Batman fans, it's cool to pretend you're the Dark Knight. There have also been a number of educational and art-based PC games based on the character, plus mobile exclusives, and video games featuring Batman, like Injustice Gods Among Us, LEGO Dimensions, and Gotham Knight. Amongst audiences and critics, the best Batman video game of all time tends to be either Batman Arkham Asylum or Batman Arkham City. While I too enjoy those games, for me, it's gotta be LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes. What about you? What's your favourite Batman video game? Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to absolutely obliterate that like, subscribe, and share button. I'm just kidding. Only do it with enough force that it registers. I don't want any of you breaking whatever device you're watching this on.